Vocabulary that you'll need for today's lesson. We're going to talk about polygons and their sides, vertexes, whether they're convex or concave. Convex basically means there's no sort of indented portions of it, and concave has places where it like sinks in on the figure. Of course, those are not technical definitions. The technical definitions are printed here. I often like to say that convex is just not concave if you're just wanting to remember the concept, but if you want to study the vocabulary, here's the technical definition. You might pause it here to write down the vocabulary terms. Here are the rest of the vocabulary terms. N-gon, where a polygon has n number of sides. You should also definitely study your polygons, like how a triangle has 3 sides, quadrilateral 4, pentagon 5, hexagon has 6 sides, heptagon has 7 sides, hepta, H-E-P-T-A-G-O-N, heptagon 7, that's one that people forget. Octagon has 8, nonagon has 9, N-O-N-A-G-O-N. Decagon has 10. 11 you would just call an 11-gon. 12 is a dodecagon. Other than that, we just put the number like 13-gon, 14-gon. Equilateral is when all the sides are congruent, and equiangular is when all of the angles are congruent. And when a polygon is regular, it is both equiangular and equilateral. And that's actually a very special thing that happens. Like a square is a polygon that has all sides the same and all angles the same. You might pause here to copy these. Here starts our samples, our sample problems. It says to tell whether the figure is a polygon and whether it is convex or concave. On number 1, it is a polygon. If they asked me what kind of polygon, I would count the sides and I would say that it's a pentagon. They didn't ask for that, so I'm not going to put that. But it did ask for convex or concave, so I'm going to say yes, it's a polygon, and it is convex because it doesn't have any pieces that sort of go inward on itself. Question number 2, the problem with it is that it has this curved shape over here. This is a curve. Polygons can never have any curved portions, so this one is not a polygon. Not a polygon at all. It also doesn't have any inward areas. For convex or concave, this, I guess it would be a convex figure, but not being a polygon. You may not need to write that down necessarily. Then, right here, it says to classify the polygon by the number of sides. Tell whether it's equilateral, equiangular, or regular. Remember, regular has all the angles marked the same, all the sides marked the same. Equilateral will just have the tick marks on the sides. Equiangular would have all of our angles matching. Number 1, all the angles match and all the sides match, so that is regular. It also said to classify by the sides, so we need to count our sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is a regular octagon. So we're naming it by the sides and then telling equilateral, equiangular, or regular, or none of the above. On question 2, it has 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral. Since I'm naming it based on sides, I'm only saying quadrilateral, although this is a trapezoid particularly. This one doesn't have, it has marked congruent sides, but only these 2, not the other 2, so it's not equilateral. Also, the angles up here at the top do not match the angles at the bottom, so it's not equiangular either. It's not equilateral or equiangular. So it's none of those 3 things. I'm just going to put quadrilateral. Over here, let's count the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I always count because the more sides, they start all looking like octagons. It did have 8 sides, so it is an octagon. All of the sides are marked with congruent markings, therefore it's equilateral. Then it says a square. Imagine a square, all the sides are the same, all the angles are 90 degrees. This is classified by the number of sides, so I'm still going to go with quadrilateral. And it's regular. Regular, quadrilateral, the order of the words would be better if I'd said regular, quadrilateral. Number 5 is a quadrilateral again. Because rectangles have 4 sides and rectangles have 4 right angles, therefore it's equiangular. And then the last one, a triangle with 3 60-degree angles. So 3-sided is a triangle. If it has 60-degree angles, that means that all the angles are the same. And with triangles, if they have all the angles the same, they actually have all the sides the same. So this would be a regular triangle. And it's equiangular and equilateral, so it is a regular triangle. Here we have a question, and it says the head of a bolt is shaped like a regular hexagon. The 2 expressions shown represent side lengths of the hexagonal bolt. Find the length of the side and the perimeter of the top of the bolt. So since it is a regular hexagon, that means that all of the sides are the same. I'm going to mark them all congruent. And that means that we can set the sides equal to each other. So the side that's 4x plus 3 should be equal to the side that's 6x minus 1. Then solving, subtracting 4x from both sides to get our x's together. Adding 1 to get our x's alone. Dividing by 2, x is 2. But remember, it wants the side and the perimeter, not just x. So what we have to do is plug x into one of our expressions. So the side is 11 millimeters. Remember that one of our imperatives is that you label the labels. If you forget to put millimeters, it could cost you all of your points. So be certain that you are labeling your measurements if there are labels in the picture. So if one side is 11 millimeters and there are 6 of them, for the perimeter, we can do 6 times that 11 and find that it's 66 millimeters for the perimeter. So they asked me for the side and they asked me for the perimeter. They are filling in some review about perimeter circumference and area. This is where the notes begin to be section 1.7. And so this is some basic review of area and perimeter of basic shapes. The perimeter of a square is 4 times the side. The area is the side squared. The perimeter of a rectangle is 2L plus 2W. And the area is length times width. Then we also have on the next page, perimeter and area of a triangle. The perimeter of a triangle is when you add the sides. The area is the base times the height divided by 2, or 1/2 times base times height, either way. The circumference can be written in 2 ways. It can be written as 2 pi r, or it can be written as pi d. So 2 pi r or pi d. The area is pi r squared. The rest of the notes I think I'm going to put in another video. I don't want them to be too long each.